raise your hand. We'll come around with the mic holders. Coach?
Excited to have an opportunity to go down and play Coach Pry's very, very good football team, 2-1 in conference, Virginia Tech. It's one of the atmospheres that people in college football all hear about and know about, and it's going to be an exciting deal. And I think we have some outstanding practices. We're ready to go, and we're looking forward for our opportunity to go down there. Questions?
Start with Emily in front.
Dino, I know a big goal for the bye week was getting healthy. I'm curious about two in particular, Kalen Ellis and Trevor Pena, just their statuses in this week.
Will not be in this week, either one of them.
We'll go up in the back right here to Jesse. And then we'll go to Tyler right here on the left after that.
First of all, Coach, good to see you. I hope you enjoyed the bye week. You mentioned the environment. How do you simulate that environment in practice?
Can't do it. Can't do it. We'll turn on the speakers and we'll do all those things, but that place is different. Had an opportunity to play for my first time, I don't know, 1 or 2 years ago, can't remember exactly, but that atmosphere was exciting, and that will be nothing what we're going to face Thursday night. It's really going to be electric. There's no doubt about it.
Tyler?
Coach, just curious, this year compared to last year, how the players on the team, the captains, how everybody has responded to a losing streak, and if maybe some of the players that were on the team last year learned from losing last year and are rebounding better this year.
I think the biggest thing is you can't compare two teams. There's no doubt that we understand what happened last year, and this is an opportunity to make sure it doesn't happen again. I thought the captains really controlled practices during the bye week, and I think they did a really nice job. So it'll be fun to see what happens. But we're taking this week as 1-0, as we did before. And the bye is kind of the closing of the first chapter, and we're going to open up the second chapter, what's going to happen.
Coach, is there anything, with the game being on a Thursday, is there anything you guys have done different in terms of preparation, or does the bye week really just mitigate that?
No, you have to change. We had like I said, we had a practice today, which is unusual for us. This is an off day for us. We had to practice on Sunday, which is something I just don't do. That's not something I'm in favor of, but we had to do that as well. So those are the unusual things, and then we're going to fly out Wednesday, which is a little bit different, and then play on Thursday.
We'll go to Tommy in the second row, and then Susie, if you go Citrus right after that.
Coach, how's Isaiah Jones doing in getting back to 100%? I know we've seen him out there, but do you expect his role to be increasing more as we get out of this bye week?
He's slowly getting better. When you say the word increase, I think he's slowly getting better, and when he gets back to where he can help us, I think he'll be one of those guys that you'll see get the ball to him. But we're still hoping that he continues his growth of getting better on the health department.
Coach, how does the road experience of beating Virginia Tech 2 years ago at Lane Stadium help for this week?
Absolutely none. It's a good feeling. I'm glad that we won instead that we lost, but it has absolutely nothing to do with it. Coach Pry is a different guy. I've had an opportunity to meet him. He's really cool. I like him. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to line up and want to, make sure that our teams do well, but I really like his personality. And I think he's someone that's going to do extremely well at Virginia Tech, and I know he's going to have his team ready to go.
We'll go down in front and go Wyatt and Michael.
Coach, I know you said you expect this offense to kind of bounce back and return to form that it was in the first 4 games. How do you kind of expect that to happen, and what are your expectations for this upcoming game for that offense?
I think the biggest thing is hopefully the kids right now, the young men right now are fresher than they've ever been since July. I mean, once camp starts, you start to get worn down, and you start the season, and you're not going to feel fresh. You're going to have your owies, you're going to have your bumps and bruises. You're not going to feel fresh until the bye. Now, that doesn't get you back to 100, but it should get you back healthier than you've ever been. Now, unfortunately, Virginia Tech's coming off a bye as well, so what you're going to see is the healthy teams again going back at each other for the most health that you can get, because they've got guys that are missing, and we've got guys that are missing. But you're going to see a fresh contest between 2 football teams.
Michael?
Coach, one more injury question for you. What do you anticipate Joe Moore's status is for this week?
Joe Moore is available. He's in our depth as a second-team player.
Thank you.
We're going to go right in front to Chris and Emily.
Dino, did the open week give you a chance to look any deeper into personnel, and do you expect any sort of substantial changes for Virginia Tech?
The answer, first part of the question is yes, it gives you an opportunity to look deeper into the personnel. And I can't anticipate right now any changes.
3 days away? You can't anticipate? Or you just won't tell?
Pretty much the last thing you said.
You guys share two common opponents so far this season with Virginia Tech, Purdue, and then FSU. I'm just curious if anything stood out in watching their game film against those two guys, just getting ready to prepare for them.
No, just that, you know, I would say that Purdue and ourselves and Virginia Tech are similar. So as far as, you know, what you think you can do physically against each other, I think that game is a good game to watch for both sides.
Go all the way and back to Maddie.
Coach, you talked about the frustration that these guys are dealing with heading into the rest of the season.
Yeah, I heard, I missed, was it frustration?
Frustration.
Okay, start again, please.
Coming off the bye week, how do you see that frustration kind of wean and the guys mentally reset heading into the rest of the season?
Well, the meeting that we had going into the, you know, before the bye, I thought was a fantastic meeting. And the big thing is you have to close. You can't treat everything, and you can't carry the first part of the season into the second half. It's totally different. So I really believe that we did a good job of closing the book. Sometimes mom and dad think they're doing a good job of something, but it really takes brothers and sisters and older brothers and older sisters to make sure that the rest of the family has it, and that's the job of the captains. I watched their practices. They came out here. They practiced well. We practiced well before, okay? But they really did practice well, so I'm looking forward to see how the rest of the week goes and see what kind of performance they put on Thursday night.
Go in front to Chris.
Obviously, after losses, people say things out of frustration. Garrett, a couple weeks ago, mentioned, you know, you need to find an identity on offense. What's your sense of the confidence level the offensive guys have in what you're doing after kind of 3 difficult performances?
When you say what we doing, you mean what the family is doing?
What you guys are doing on offense. What's their level of confidence with kind of the plan and if it's going to work?
I think you guys should ask them. We give them access to them. You can answer that question directly to them.
We'll go in second row to Tommy.
Thanks.
You mentioned good practices. What are good practices for you right now at this point in the season? Is it sharpness? Is it communication? What are you really wanting to see that has you leaving saying, I liked what I saw?
Details and energy is how you do it. Your attitude is your altitude. So we want to be able to climb. We got to have the right attitude, and we got to do it with fantastic details. That's a good practice to me.
Go to Tyler in front.
Just a short follow-up on the offense. After the Florida State game, you had mentioned that after the bye, you expect the offense to get back to its efficiency that it had at the start of the season. Is that going to be because of rest, or were there changes you actively made personnel-wise or scheme-wise that are going to maybe play a bigger factor?
I think the biggest thing is the rest. You're going to get a lot of guys that are going to get rested. We should see the better side, the better side of a lot of guys that haven't had an opportunity to rest. And then the other thing is there's rest away from the coaches too. I mean, we practiced one time last week, and those guys had a big long weekend where they can go home and see their families if they live close enough. And then we brought them back. We went Sunday and we went today, which is the reason why I'm dressed like this. So I think sometimes for them to get away and to eat mama's cooking, and then be able to listen to all their friends and moms and dads and uncles and aunts, and of course, and everything social media and the news has to say. And then to get back here with family, to kind of refocus and to reboot, reset, so to speak, and get ready to go for the second half.
Michael.
Coach, LaQuint Allen had a good game on the ground against Florida State, but he's also, at the moment, the team leader in receptions. How important is it to be able to utilize him in both ways going into the last 5 games of the season?
LaQuint's a very good player, and I will also say not only did he have a good game against Florida State, but the offensive line had a good job, did a much better job blocking the run game at Florida State. And I told them as such. But LaQuint is a versatile player. He's a first down, second down, third down running back in the National Football League. So he can catch, he can block, and he can run.
Go to Emily in front.
What would you attribute that better performance by the offensive line against Florida State to? Is that just like they've finally hit a point where they've clicked, or did something change there? Or like, what would you just attribute that to?
I think they understand, as all good football teams, as the elephants and hippos go, that's how we go. Elephants and hippos, they run the show. So O-line and D-line, they run the show. And we really need those guys to play at a certain level if we're going to be able to give our best and everything else. And I thought that the offensive line definitely improved against Florida State. I'm excited to see what might happen this Thursday.
Is there anyone specifically on the offensive line who's like stood out to you and kind of rallied those guys and helped make that happen?
I think the guy who's playing the best right now in the O-line is Blige. He's doing an exceptional job, and he's doing a good job in leadership as well.
Henry on the corner.
Coach, what have you seen from Derek McDonald, at least just throughout the season so far, and just has he improved at all in certain aspects of the game, or is there anything that has really stood out to you with him?
Derek McDonald is really, really good. He does not get the due. He does not get his due, and I'm telling you right now, he's one of the better linebackers. And I think the world of him. It's you can see, I can't hide. I'm a terrible poker player. I'm bad. I get 4 of a kind, everybody folds. I have nothing. I put my money in there, everybody calls. You can read me. But that guy is good. And he represents what you want on a good football team. He's a tough guy, never gives up, and he'll do anything for the team. Extremely unselfish player.
And I know you really don't like those online grading systems. Usually they don't grade them as well. Those online grades that grade players after the game.
Okay, yeah, I don't like them, but go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, they typically don't grade them well, but does that value typically not get seen by some of those outlets?
I don't know. Is his grades low on that?
It's pretty low compared to other linebackers. Exactly.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah, no. Really good player. Believe the coach, don't believe the grades on this one.
Questions? We'll go back to Tommy in the second row.
Coach,
Tommy, I'm not used to seeing you sitting down.
I know. I'm normally messing with the camera. I'm feeling confident with it today.
Okay, let's go with it.
I'm comfortable. The tush push, the brotherly shove. It's become a big part of football this season. Do you see it as something that's really kind of revolutionizing the game? Do you see it sticking around for years? Do you see defenses more so finding better ways to stop it? What is your whole take on it?
My whole take is this. Based off of what's going on with it, defensive coaches will probably get together, create some kind of rule that it's not legal anymore, and get it out of the game. Until then, it's a very effective play.
Do you want to keep it in the game?
Yeah. It's okay.
Anything else for Coach? All right, we'll go Chris and Emily in front, and then Brent.
With Clemson, North Carolina, and Florida State behind you, did Garrett have to be any more careful running the ball in those games? And I guess the answer is no. In terms of staying healthy, right? We saw what could happen if you ran around against Clemson. There's no sort of these next 5 games he can sort of let it loose anymore.
I think we still had some runs for Garrett in those games, but we need to find a way to be 1-0, and all we're trying to do is win 1 game this week, and we'll do everything we can to win that game.
Go Brent and Emily.
Coach, before you closed the chapter on the first half, what was the prevailing thought you had before you moved on how this team performed before that?
I thought obviously ran the non-conference. We could have came out of that non-conference 3-1, but we found a way to come out 4-0. And just talk to the players about, you only get so many opportunities to play certain types of teams in certain type of situations, and you don't want to look back as you didn't do everything that you could do, and you want them to really work hard and really see that opportunity. And we didn't get an opportunity to capitalize, and it was disappointing for me, but it's something they can't get back. I've got 39 years worth of games. They only get, COVID year, they may get 5 to 6 years of games, which is a little bit different. But you just don't want those opportunities to pass you by. To see Virginia get that win over North Carolina, that was exciting, and I was excited for his coach. And I know he got 1,000 text messages, but I'm not going to text him. I'm going to walk right up to him, and I'll tell him exactly what I think the next time I see him. But really happy for him based off of everything that's gone on at that university. But that's the biggest thing, you know. As you're older, you start to see it, and you just don't want young people to pass up when they have an opportunity like that, to really go after it. Just little talks.
Emily?
Similar question, but a little different. Just what's the biggest lesson that you feel like either you yourself as a coach or just the team as a whole is taking from the first half of the season into the second?
Again, on my opportunities, they came out 4-0, and that was good. And then we played three really good teams, but, you know, we have to play well against those type of teams, and we didn't play our best games against them. So the outcomes were the outcomes.
Take 2 more for Coach if anybody's got them. Otherwise, we're good. All right, thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Is this room getting cold to you guys?
It's a little chilly in here.
Thank you.